Good morning. This is the time and place for the planning officer hearing of June 16th, 2021. My name is Roger Kiesel, and I will be conducting the hearing as planning hearing officer. There is one case today on the agenda, and the plans and all the relevant information will be provided on the screen when the planner does her presentation. The one on the agenda this morning is a variance. It's variance PVAR 2101724, located at 3416 El Caminito Street. I'm just going to read the project description real quickly and then describe how the meeting will proceed. The project is an application for a standards variance to maintain an existing 3-foot interior setback along the northwest side of an existing 1,162 square foot, 1-story single-family residence with an existing detached 2-car garage. The lot size is 5,382 square feet. And what is being proposed is an 822 square foot 2nd-story addition. After the addition, the overall height of the house will be 26 feet and 9 inches. So here's how the meeting will proceed. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.43 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a variance shall be granted if 4 required findings are present. The first is that the strict application of the ordinance would result in practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship, inconsistent with the general purposes and intent of the ordinance. The second finding is that there are exceptional circumstances or conditions applicable to the property involved or to the intended use or development of the property that do not apply generally to other property in the same zone or neighborhood. The third is that the granting of the variance will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements. Property or improvements in such zone or neighborhood in which the property is located. And finally, that the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the objectives of the ordinance. The hearing will proceed as follows. I've already read a description of the project. I'll then read the reports received from other city departments and other letters or communication from interested parties. Then Eileen Babakani, the case planner, will do a brief presentation showing the project and providing analysis and making a recommendation. Then the applicant will be asked to present their case within a 15-minute time period. Then I'll ask others in support or in opposition to the project to speak. That's if we have any phone calls. Finally, the applicant has an opportunity for closing comments. The hearing will then be closed and taken under submission. Regarding the decision, after the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all people who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at the hearing or by submitting written responses and providing their name and mailing address. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Appeals. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the decision date, and the notice of the appeal shall be filed with Building and Safety Division located in MSB 101 of the building. What I would also encourage anybody who may appeal this is to speak with the case planner, Eileen Babakani. We will let's proceed to the department comments. And then I'll ask Ms. Babakani to make her presentation. So again, this is a variance for a setback. The fire department has a couple of comments regarding the fire sprinkler system that may be required depending on the valuation of the overall project. I think that was the only one. Building and safety had standard conditions. And GWP had standard conditions. So if I could ask Ms. Babakani to make her presentation, that would be great.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Kiesel. Trying to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
We can, but it's blank right now.
Oh,
Or I can, but it's a black screen.
let me try it again. What about now?
Same thing. Here we go. Oh,
Okay.
it was there briefly.
Do you have it now? Should
I
be
do,
okay.
yeah.
Very perfect.
Can everybody see it? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Mr. Kissel, this is a standard variance with the case number PVAR 2101724 to maintain an existing 3-foot interior setback along the northwest side of the existing 1,162 square foot one-story house with an existing detached two-car garage on a 5,382 square foot lot in conjunction with a proposed 822 square foot two-story addition with an overall height of 26 feet 9 inches in the R1 zone, which is the low density residential zone, floor area ratio district 2. The lot is located to the south of El Caminito and was developed in 1947. We have an established neighborhood of single-family homes with R1 zoning to the north, east, and west side of the subject house, and a public school to the south of the site. The existing 5,382 square foot interior lot slopes down gradually from the street frontage to the rear of the lot. And for the proposed work, no changes are proposed to the existing footprint of the house or its exterior walls, except for the southwest portion of the house, which is the area of the addition. The proposed addition meets the 5-foot minimum required interior setback in this zone. You can see the existing and proposed floor plan for the first floor in this slide, and the area of the addition is shown here towards the rear of the house. And here you can see the existing and proposed floor plan for the second floor and also the roof plan. In this slide, I put the elevation drawing of the subject project, and you can see the front elevation here on this slide and the addition at the rear further back from the street frontage. This is the rear elevation. And you see the volume of the second floor, the two-story addition here. And we have the side, and this should be the west side and also the east side elevation drawing of the subject project. And here are the section drawing of the project. As planning hearing officer Mr. Kissel mentioned, comments were received from Glendale Water and Power Engineering, Fire Engineering, and also Building and Safety, and suggested conditions made by this department have been included in the draft condition of approval to ensure that any potential negative impact will be appropriately mitigated. Also, if an issue is addressed in the comments, the issue can be resolved during the building plan check process. According to the section 30.43.0300 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a variance may be granted if only if 4 findings of fact can be made. And here, as was mentioned, staff believes the required findings of fact for this variance have been found, and therefore staff recommends the planning hearing officer approve this application. In this case, let me go back to the floor plan. Here, in this case, in order to comply with the zoning requirement, 2 feet of the entire side of the house on the west side, here on this side, would need to be demolished. And these are the 2 existing bedroom walls. That would a reduction of the removal of the walls and would have the reduction of the existing bedroom, and the bedroom eventually will be too small and no longer functional. This would result in unnecessary hardship inconsistent with the intent of the code. Furthermore, the size of the lot and the location of the existing garage and driveway limit the available area for a reasonably sized addition. And the R1 zone regulation are intended to allow reasonable additions to properties. Also, granting of the variance will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvement in the zone or neighborhood in which the property is located. The existing house is a permitted use and consistent with the zoning designation. The project will not conflict with adjacent residential uses to the north, east, and west, as well as the public school to the south, because the existing residence will remain, the existing house will remain as a single family house. The proposed 822 square foot 2-story addition, which includes a new family room at the first floor and the master suite at the second floor. Again, we'll have setback of 5 foot from the interior side, from the interior property line. And we have a significant setback from the street front property line. And also we have approximately interior setback of 20 feet from the rear property line. Therefore, the addition will not compromise the existing house or the neighboring properties' open space, light, or ventilation, because the second floor will meet the code requirement minimum interior setback. I also need to mention that the project will require design review approval, which will ensure the project is compatible with the surrounding properties. Also, the addition will not increase traffic or parking demand. The property contains an existing enclosed 2-car garage, and basically the total floor area, including the addition, will be 1,984 square feet. which is under the threshold for requiring an enclosed 3-car garage parking here. Also, granting of the variance will be consistent with the objective of the ordinance because all other zoning code regulation will be complied with, including the floor area ratio, lot coverage, height, and also landscape, open space, and parking. For the conclusion, staff believes the findings for the variance can be made in a positive manner, and therefore staff recommends approval for this application. Before I conclude, I should mention that staff received one comment in support of the project, which has been provided for the consideration of the planning hearing officer. And that concludes my presentation. Mr. Kissel, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Let's just move into the applicant's presentation. I've just got a couple questions, but let's do the presentation first. You're muted now.
How's that? Can you hear me? Let's see. I think everything that was presented pretty much covers it. Thank you, Eileen. That was great. The only thing I was going to add was that when you look at the proposal, you can see that the intent of the addition is really to not have to affect the existing house at all, or as much or as little as possible. The way the addition has been put onto the back, there's only an existing exterior wall of about 10 feet that's going to be removed. Other than that, very little roofing, no interior remodel, and that all has to do with budget and general purpose of, behind the entire proposal. So obviously, if the variance is not granted, that would be a hardship to then step in and remove an existing footing and exterior wall and reduce the area of those bedrooms. Other than that, I'm just here if you have questions that I can answer. Oops, you're muted again, Roger. Still muted. Sorry. Please.
How's that?
There we go.
Okay. Do the homeowners have anything to add? No.
Yes, I actually have a question.
Your sound is very light.
Is it any better now?
Yes.
Slightly better for me.
Okay. If I heard correctly, there was one comment received in support of the variance application. I am wondering, is that a public information that can be shared with us? That comment letter?
Sure.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
I have no comments. Thank you.
Okay. We do have one caller on the line, so let's proceed with the caller.
Yes, give me a second here.
Thank you.
Hello?
Good morning, Frank. You're live with the planning hearing officer meeting. If you could mute your TV or how you're watching this, but you are live for the planning hearing officer meeting.
No, unfortunately, I don't know how to watch it on TV. I didn't get that information, but I am on my phone. And I'm sitting in my living room across the street from this, from our neighbor where they're asking for the variance. I just wanted to say that they are very good neighbors. They're very nice people. Limited interaction with them, but they're very nice. I live on the opposite side, about 3 doors down. I'm at 3429 El Caminito. And over there, my concern is that people that live on this side of the street, opposite from that property, all have a pretty good view, except for one house, of the Verdugo Mountains behind this home. And one of the appeals of living in Glendale and one of the appeals of living in the foothill community is our ability to see the Verdugo Mountains from our homes, either our porches or from our front yard. It's really nice, and it kind of counteracts some of the problems of living in Southern California. So this variance would add a second story of an approximate height of the project is 26 feet 9 inches. My concern is that would knock out a significant portion of the view of the Verdugo Mountains for anyone living on this side of the street, including myself. So while I can see why they might want to add to their property, the fact that they want to go to a second story and make it so that it blocks the view from anyone on this side or cuts down on the view of the Verdugo Mountains on this side, that's my concern. Otherwise, I'll vote the plans. I can see why they need to do it. They got a family, but I got a family too. And we kind of like the view that we have now. They could stay at a one story, like my neighbor to the 3425 right next door. I could see that, but a second story that blocks the view of the mountains really would have a detrimental effect on the quality of our lives and the people that live on this side of the street. So other than that, they're good neighbors, good people, and no problems with them at all. Just the height of the property and the fact it would block the view of anyone living on the side of the street. So anyway, that's my objection. And again, my name is Frank Raitz, R-A-H-T-Z, and I live at 3429 El Caminito. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Any other callers, Miss Asp?
I have no comments at this time.
Okay, thanks. Ms. Matthews, you've got a couple minutes that you can speak to anything that you missed initially or to the with regard to the subject the caller called about, if you want to do that. Did you want to rebut, Ms. Matthews?
Okay, sorry, I was
That's okay.
frozen there. I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
You've got a couple minutes to speak either on something that you didn't say initially, or as it relates to the concern of the caller, if you want.
I do think that the concern of the caller could be addressed in design review. And maybe give an opportunity to the homeowners also reach out to them between now and then. I'm not sure if the variance hearing is the right place to discuss that matter. Other than that, I don't have anything to add.
You don't have any other comments? Okay. I do have a couple questions for y'all. You touched on this one in your presentation. It looks like the existing house is maintained pretty much in its present or in its current configuration after the project. Was there ever contemplated just a reconfiguration of the existing house as well as an addition? Do you understand my question?
Okay, you cut out there a bit, but I think I understand. You're asking if we ever contemplated redesigning the existing configuration?
Correct.
Actually, we were trying to avoid that, and put the emphasis on the addition with as little impact to the existing house as possible.
Okay, so no real contemplation of just rejiggering the whole house.
Correct.
Okay.
There isn't the budget.
Okay, all right. So the variance or the lack of the variance, if the variance doesn't get approved, would affect two of the secondary bedrooms?
Correct.
Okay. What are the widths of those bedrooms? Because I'm assuming at a 3-foot setback to comply. Sorry, I need to reduce my volume. I'm assuming that to comply with the interior setback, you would need to reduce the widths of those bedrooms by 2 feet. There's a setback now of 3 feet that would technically, to our current code, require a 5-foot setback. So you would need to reduce the width of those bedrooms by 2 feet. What's the current width of the 2 bedrooms that are impacted?
Bedroom number 2 is 11'3" wide, and bedroom number 3 is 11'6" wide.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what are the sizes of those 2 bedrooms?
So bedroom 2, which has the narrowest width, is also only 10'7" in the other direction for an overall of 119 square feet. That one
Okay.
was the most severely impacted. The
All
other
right.
3 inches wider is a foot longer, so it's 11'7", and that comes to 133 square feet.
Okay. Got it. So trying to do the math in my head. So for instance, bedroom 2 would drop from 11 foot 3 inches in width to 9 foot 3 inches in width.
Correct.
And then roughly in size, it would drop to, it looks like, if I'm doing my math correctly, just under 100 square feet in area, in total area.
Bedroom 2 would drop by 21 square feet, I think, because it would be 2 feet times the 10.5 length.
Right. Good. Then either we're both doing the math correctly or wrong. Okay. So the overall size would be just under 100 square feet.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. All right. Ms. Babakani had 9 suggested or draft conditions of approval. Have you all read those conditions, those draft conditions?
There were 9.
Yes.
I have to admit I missed that.
Uh-oh.
Where do we
All
find
right.
it?
Well, you know what? Do you have them in front of you?
I can look at it. Is it in an email on the link?
Well, it's in the packet. Do you want me to just,
It's an
Do the
exhibit
homeowners-
1.
do the homeowners have access to them? Homeowners, have you read the conditions of approval?
Yes, I have read those conditions, 9 conditions.
You have read them?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about them? Do you have any questions or concerns?
Not about those 9 conditions.
Okay, so if this variance was to be approved and the 9 conditions attached, I'm assuming from your answer that you would be, you'd be okay abiding with those conditions. You don't have any questions or concerns.
That is correct, as long as I'm understanding the language correctly.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you know, if the homeowners are okay with the conditions, I don't think we need to review them unless, Ms. Matthews, you want me to go through them just so that you're,
No, the discussion I had with Anita was via email, and it was just that the one condition that they design review process was uncertain about was whether we need to dig into the existing bedrock to try and lower the house. And I said that at this point, that wouldn't be a condition for the variance, that would be something we would deal with design review. So as long as that's not in there, and then I think we're comfortable moving
Okay.
forward with the hearing.
okay, then I think we can save some time and not, I don't have to I don't have to read all 9 conditions because it sounds like, at least you and the homeowners have discussed them. The homeowner appears to be fine with them. So, I think we can just, dispense with that. I don't have any other questions. So, if you don't have anything else to say, I think we can end the public hearing and I can, render a decision, probably in the next couple of weeks regarding the variance application.
I have no.
Eileen, okay. Eileen, I'm sorry, Ms. Balkani, do you have anything else?
No, thank you so much for asking.
Okay,
No.
all right. So let's conclude this public hearing and it is currently 10:04. We'll end the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.